Alright guys, it's Jason here. I have like a bunch of replays because I had them saved up and I'm gonna forget them. So that's why I got all the tabs open and I'm just gonna do all of them in one big video and I'm not gonna, I was gonna spread it out, to get more views, but I don't care because I do what I want. And another thing is, the reason why I don't upload a lot of losses is I don't upload losses if the guy like completely shits on me. Like, I played a Trick Room team today. He's really high up in the ladder, and he like 3-0'd me, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you use Trick Room, it's usually like you only win by a narrow 1-0, and like he just like pooped all over me. His name was Hollywood. Um, and the other games I play is just like me. I don't upload losses against some good players if I just like straight out sweep them just because those aren't really fun to watch. So these matches are kind of close, or these are matches with guys that are really high up in the ladder. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm a mini poopy face just because that's how I roll. And this is our Zangoose. He's really high up in the ladder, so let's get it. So he leads off with his Erosion Raid. I lead off with my Claydol, predicting to lead off with his Mew, but no. I go right into my Crobat as he goes for the Sleep Powder. I am Sleep Talk with 2 attacks, and I do pull out the Brave Bird, which is excellent for me, because now his Erosion Raid, which is the only threat to my team, is completely out besides his Honchkrow. Unfortunately, here I wake up, so he gets free rocks, and here he makes a good play by going for the Roar, knowing I'm going to have to switch out. He racks up that self-direct damage on my Suicune and my Raikou. And he knows I can't do anything. Like, I'm a Raikou, I can't do anything to the Swampert unless I have HP Grass. So I'm just going to go into my Claydol, as he predicts that actually. Probably predicting me to go into Verzion actually to get the burn off. So I go to my Claydol, get my rocks up. He does not get the burn, and I'm just going to keep on going for the spin. As he just keeps on going for the Scald, he does not get the burn again. And here we have a chain of events in which basically I just keep on going for the Earthquake as he keeps on going for the Stealth Rocks. And then hold on, let me turn this volume down. I keep on going for the Rapid Spin, so I'm just going to skip this. So basically, I realize here he's just going to keep on going for rocks. I could PP stall him, but that wouldn't be really fun to watch. So here I'm actually going to switch out into my Verzium, just because I know he's going to go for the rocks. Now here I know the switch to Pythagoras is really obvious, so I'm actually just going to Sword Dance on the switch. And I know Verzium has a really good chance to 2-hit KO after rocks damage. So yeah, I get 51%, which turns out that he's not fully defensive. He probably has some split EVs, because it should be doing like 47%. But in either case, Pythagoras definitely would have gone down this round. And a burned Verzion, even at like +0 boost, will still 2-hit KO Swampert for the most part. So he goes into main shout. He goes for the aerialist. It's very obvious. You don't mess around with threats generally. And I have 2 things that resist high jump kicks. So yeah, aerialist is a better move. So I go for the Scald as he goes into his pert. And basically, my win condition to 6-0 this man is basically to burn his Swampert, burn his main Chow, and his Honchkrow, or just get Honchkrow in a position that he can't switch in just because Sub Roost isn't a thing anymore, even though I think that's the best set, whatever. So we both exchange burns, and here I'm gonna Scald his incoming. Oh, I'm gonna rest because Honchkrow, if it's Life Orb Adamant, can 2-hit KO at that range. So Mew goes for the Sword Stance, which is a little bit scary. I do pull out the Roar, which is great. So I don't know if it's Baton Pass or Sword Stance Sweeper. So here I'm going to Sleep Talk again, and I do pull the Scald. He is Torrent boosted, but he goes for the EQ, which I don't understand. But anyway, so Swampert goes down this round. Yeah, so he goes into his Mew right here. I know I'm gonna wake up this turn. He goes for the Zen Headbutt, which reveals to me that he's the Sword Stance 3 attack sets, which isn't a bad set. That set used to like actually sweep teams like about a year ago. He gets the flinch first time, but it's okay. I go for the Scald, and for Justice, for flinching me, I get the burn, which is great for me. So now his Mew is just, it's severely crippled. In fact, he can't do anything to me unless he flinch hacks me to death, but I'm just going to play it safe. I'm going to go for the rest. Why? Because I want to 6-0 this man, because I feel like 6-0ing, even though it's kind of a douchey thing to do, it teaches you to play better. Just because at this point, the only reason why he's even getting, like, having a lot of trouble is because he stayed in on turn 2 with my Crobat versus his Rosary, which is bad. So here I roar him out. As it turns out, I thought he was Scarfed, and his main shout turns out to be Regenerator just because I saw that he's living. So here it's just a turn of events where he just high jump kicks. He doesn't miss a single one. It turns out his Honchkrow is Dread Plate, and here I take him out, and yeah. So here I get another battle against a guy named Rowan, who's really good. Also, all these guys are like 2,000 plus. And these are all like relatively close battles, except this one, I think, and another one. But anyway, so I'm gonna lead off with my main shout. He's gonna lead off with this Raikou. Here I'm gonna U-turn because I know a Scarf Thunderbolt won't take me out. He goes into his Heracross. that once I go into my Claydol to bait in the Mega Horn, so I go right into my Suicune, I believe, oh no, my Crobat, but he goes into his Empoleon. I'm going to U-turn out, and looking at the damage, I know that he's offensive, so I know he carries the Ice Beam. So I go to my Claydol just because I know I can take an Ice Beam followed up by a Hydro Pump and then Stealth Rocks, and he definitely wants to get a Hydro Pump the first turn just because he doesn't want to miss with, he doesn't want to miss. So here I bring in my Virizion. I know at that range, after that U-turn damage, I could definitely get a CC off, and it will definitely knock out that Empoleon. Second my Claydol was bad, but whatever. So he goes into his Tornadus. The only reason why you would go into Tornadus is if you're the bulk up acrobatic set. So I go right into my Suicune, my physical wall. It only does like 40%, which is still a lot if you think about it. It's about as strong as close combat from Heracross. So here I go for the Scald as he switches into his Heracross, which leads me to believe that he's Guts. Here, I don't know why he double switched, just because Suicune can take hits even from Banded Heracross at that range. So here goes into his Raikou, and here I'm just going to go my Virizion just because it's the only thing on my team that can take Volt switches because it has really good natural special bulk and I resist his main stab. Looking at the damage, I really think that's like Rash Scarf damage or like Timid Specs, but I'm not sure. So here I go, he goes into his Torn as he goes for the Acrobatics. I don't want to switch to my Suicune for it to take too much damage, just because, you know, it's a good check against most of his mons actually besides his Raikou. Here, because I believed his Heracross is Scarfed, I'm thinking his Flygon isn't Scarfed because Bandit set is the best, so I went for the HBS to take him out. Now here was a questionable play. Here I really wanted to sub because I know if I sub and then go for the Thunderbolt, I would have been able to take him out, but yeah, I decided just to go for the Thunderbolt just in case he's like some bulky set. So that was not a good play on my part, but anyway, his Arcanine goes down. He goes into his Raikou. Because, I have nothing to take a hit, I just leave in my Raikou to die. Turns out that he's probably Scarfed, so my Raikou lives just a sliver. He goes into his Torn. As he goes for the Tailwind, I go for the Thunderbolt, and I take it straight out. Now here, because he switched in his Heracross in on a Scald, I think he's not Moxie, so I'm actually just going to leave my Raikou here as fodder. And here I go into my Crobat, and it turns out that he's not Choice Banded, or he's not choiced at all actually. Switches a move, gets a crit close combat, which is absolutely nothing, and I'm able to take him out with the Brave Bird. So yeah, Crobat's doing work on this team. Now this team, this battle, I didn't really like this battle just because he uses Volturn, and Volturn is really good if you know how to play it well, but if you guys know Lols or Nate Dolan or whatever, he's probably the best Volturner at the moment besides like Moose and maybe Psychotic, but whatever. And those guys they just built better ones. But anyway, so this is up with Victini. This is when Victini is getting suspected still, but for whatever reason they have a ladder for Victini being able to be used, which doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I'm gonna lead off with my Claydol. I know he's going to U-turn, so I go into my Crobat because he's not going to go for the V-Create, just because Bandit Recreate doesn't have a good chance to take me out if I'm physically defensive, and he doesn't know that. So I go for the U-turn on his Magneton as I get a nice 20% off, and that leads me to believe that he's not Evilite. Switch to my Claydol, take the predicted Thunderbolt. He predicts that, goes for the HP Ice, and then now I know he's going to go into a Zatsu. I predict that, go into my Crobat, get a nice U-turn off, go into my Suicune, because Suicune beats almost every Zatsu set one-on-one. As he U-turns out, goes into his Magneton. I was really expecting the Tangrowth, but whatever. Because he is not Evilite, and because I am a Suicune, that Skull does a nice 50%. Now I know that because I switched into Claydol the first time, he's not going to predict me to do it the second time, so he goes to the Thunderbolt. Here, again, I'm going to predict him to go right into his Zatsu. And now I'm going to predict him to go into his Swampert. And then here I just fire off. I go for the Swords Dance because I know he's going to switch into Victini, and I want him to go for the V-Create. That way he loses momentum. Just because looking at this damage that his V-Create does, I know for a fact he's Mixed or Expert Belt. And anybody who doesn't know that, just stop playing Yu-Yu, just saying. So now I know he's going to go either into his Tangrowth or his Pert. So I go to my Crobat. I just fire off a Brave Bird just because I know this is the only thing on his team that gets Stealth Rocks. If he is packing Stealth Rock. So I go for the Brave Bird, I take him out to a KO him, so now my Raikou can now run train on his team. He goes into his Heracross. I know that he knows that it's going to bait me to go into my Claydol, because, you know, the Stone Edge, I resist it. And now he goes into his Victini, and then now he goes for the... I know I was fearing the Grass Knot, but because he's mixed, I know Grass Knot's not going to be able to 2-hit KO me. So he goes into his Magneton, as he turns out, and I know that I can take an HP Ice or a Thunderbolt with... my Virizion, because I didn't want to lose my Claydol or my Suicune, and I didn't want to have to predict, so Virizion's like a good middleman. He gets the pair up, but I get some justice by going for the CC, getting a crit, not even bad, but that crit really didn't play a role now. Here I know he's going to U-turn, and I know he's not Scarfed at this time, just because I know his Heracross is Scarfed, or I believe to be Scarfed. So here he goes for the Mega Horn, and here I thought that he wouldn't risk hitting another Mega Horn, but he does, and he hits 2 in a row, which is okay. He turns out to be most likely... guts. So here I'm going to go for the U-turn because I know the switch to Tangrowth is really obvious. Here I just go into my Claydol. Basically I just want to spin these hazards out of the way. He makes a bad play by actually going into Zatsu just because I have I don't need rocks just because I don't need rocks to win this match. He needs to see it. That's fine. So here I know he's going to go for the U-turn. Basically, I went to that just because Claydol can't do anything. And then now, here, I pull a switch into my Claydol because unless he can only knock me out if he's Jolly, if he goes for the Earthquake. But he predicts me to go into my Crobat, which is not a bad play. And now I know he's going to go into a Zatsu. Here I go for the sub just because I know he's going to U-turn on out because he thinks he's good. So, it only going to do 17%, and here I go for the Thunderbolt as he goes for the Psychic, I believe, and that crit didn't matter in the beginning because I would have been able to 3 KO him anyway. He switches out, he disacts his Magneton. I really don't understand why, just because Magneton was a big threat to my team, but either way, he goes into his Heracross, he goes for the Mega Horn, he misses, but it doesn't matter because I am just sacking his Claydol. As I go to my Crobat, as he goes for the Mega Horn, it does like 23%. So here, I see here, nothing on his team wants to take a Brave Bird, so I go for the U-turn for whatever reason. Go back into my Raikou. Oh, I U-turn because I know he's going to switch out, and I go into my Raikou because I know I will be at 100%, and if his Heracross is Jolly, he has to go for the Earthquake to knock me out, because the close combat will not take me out at that range. But he decides to go for the Mega Horn, so I don't really understand. I don't really agree with that play. So here, I know he's going to predict me the U-turn, so I'm just going to Aerial Ace just because I've been U-turning on out, playing really aggressively. Here he goes into his Zangrowth. I'm just going to go my Virizion as he misses the Stun Spore. If you don't want to miss, he'd use something with Thunder Wave. So I go for the CC, but it doesn't matter because he has, Regenerator and he takes me out this turn anyway. So here, I know Crobat just cleans up here. I just go for the Brave Bird, take out his Tangrowth, could take anything. And then now he's going to go into his Victini, and then I can go into my main Chow, U-turn out, kill him. So yeah. Actually, he wasn't the high rank, but it was a good battle. Gotta fix up these dimensions. Oh, I gotta battle against this guy. Pokemon is fun. If you guys don't know who Pokemon is fun is a Piff. He's a really good UU battler. He was actually number 1 for a while. And he was really good on PO when I first started, and he was number 1, I think, on PO, or top 10 on PO when I first started playing Pokemon. So, playing against him, yeah. So, and also, I don't really like his personality, IMO. And I don't care if you guys don't like my personality, because, I don't give a shit, but this man clearly does. But anyway, he leads off with his Azelf. I'm going to go for the Aerial Ace, predicting him to predict me to go to the U-turn, so we go into a Shed Ninja. But no, he stays in, goes with his Rocks up. Not a bad play. So here, he goes for the Fire Blast. I know lead Azelfs can't do anything to Claydol. Here, I am just going to go for the Stealth Rocks just because... Or, I went for the Stealth Rocks, but Magikarp for whatever reason came. So I go for the Stealth Rocks as he goes for the Nasty Plot. Here I go to my Suicune just because I know I can take 1 +2 Nasty Plot and then roar him out. But he decides to get greedy, he gets the +4. Here I go for the Roar just because Cofagrigus is so bulky. He does like a nice 82%, which is ridiculous, but that's good information for me to know for when my Raikou is facing him. So anyway, here I don't want to sack my Suicune just yet as he reveals the Psyshock. Now here I know he doesn't have the U-turn, so he's going to go right into his Cofagrigus, and because of that I am just going to go right into my Raikou, just because I am rather especially bulky, and I can take him out with 2 Thunderbolts. So here I go for the Calm Mind, predicting him to go for the Trick Room, so that way I can get a sub on his Trick Room, and then just sub down until he runs out. So here I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt. After I go for Calm Mind, his Shadow Ball does nothing, and he takes out his Azelf, which is great for me because I don't think I would have won that speed tie. He goes into his Darmanitan, and here I know he's going to go for the Flare Blitz because Suicune is at so low health, and nothing on my team wants to take a Flare Blitz. So here I go into my main Chow, and here I have no reason to go for the high jump kick. He has 2 things immune to it, and he has a Blastoise, so I U-turn on out. Honestly, I would have stayed in Flare Blitz, but whatever. Go right into my Raikou. I know at this range, Raikou has like a 93% chance to knock out Blastoise with Thunderbolt, and nothing on his team wants to take 2 Thunderbolts, even Scrap Deal, unless he's like especially defensive. So he goes right back into his Darmanitan, and again, I know nothing on my team wants to take a Flare Blitz, so I'm just going to sack my Claydol, because Claydol is the most expendable thing on my team. Now here I go to my main Chow, and I'm predicting him to predict me to go for the high jump kick, predicting him not switch out because he didn't switch out the first time. But I go for the U-turn again. He sacks his Shed Ninja, and here I'm just going to go for the U-turn again. I have no reason not to. And I go right into my Raikou just because Raikou is the best thing to combat this Cofagrigus as he goes for the Nasty Plot. Honestly, would have went for the Trick Room, but what do I know? So here I'm going to drop a T-Bolt, and here he makes a very questionable play. He goes for the Trick Room, which wasn't a bad play because Cofagrigus has like a 40% chance to knock me out at +2. But no, I live. He actually got kind of a high damage roll there, but yeah. Go for the Thunderbolt, take him right out. Now he goes into a Scrafty. I have no reason to switch out because I want to know what set he is. So I am just going to go for the Thunderbolt as it does 30% to Scrafty, so that leads me to believe that he's mostly like max HP but max attack, not like max special defense, just because Scrafty like eats up hits, but I could be wrong. So here I go to my Crobat, just because I know if he's not invested in attack, which contradicts what I was thinking, he can't take me out with +1, and I can get off a Brave Bird, and then just pretty much win. So yeah, I go for the Brave Bird again, I take out a Scrafty as he goes for another Bulk Up, probably just choking. And then he goes into his Darm, and I know I pretty much have the game. He goes to the Rock Slide, which is, you know, cute. And then I go into my main Show, and I just U-turn it out, and then his Darmanitan is out of the way. And wow, this is a long one. Alright, so I got a battle against, oh my god. I got a couple more. Alright, I got a battle against Cool Story Brobat. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description, and here I am with my Rotom Heat Flame Orb. So he leads up with Crobat. He U-turns on out, not fearing me with a Scarf, and I go for the Volt Switch, trying to bluff the Scarf, but no, he makes the safe play, goes right into his Swampert. Now here I go for the HP Grass, just because it hits everything. It hits his Swampert for good damage, and I know he's probably going to get his Rock Step or Switch out. Volt Switch on his Blastoise, crit didn't really matter, just because Volt Switch would have taken him out at that range. Now here I go to my main shot, specifically to bait him to go into his Crobat, because what I'm going to do right now is go into the Rotom Heat. Let's get the Brave Bird, I eat up that hit. And then here, I'm actually just going to Volt Switch again, predicting him to go right into, I don't know, Verzion, I think. No, Umbreon, right. As I Volt Switch out, getting momentum, not even bad. Go right into my Verzion. Here, I know the switch to Crobat is really obvious, so I go right for the Stone Edge, just because he has no reason not to go into his Crobat. Fortunately, I missed, but if I didn't want to miss, I'd use HP Ice. So anyway, or HP Rock, rather. He goes to the Brave Bird. He has no reason not to. Verzion is a big threat to his team, just because Swampert, you know, can't take hits, Umbreon can't take hits. Here, I know he's going to U-turn out as he Brave Birds, so I go back into my main Show as he goes into his Swampert. I know Reckless, High Jump Kick, 2-hit KOs, and he is going to predict me to switch because, you know, what's to take this. Now I switch out as he goes into his Crobat, and here I know he's going to U-turn it out because a Brave Bird will not take me out, and I'm just going to go for the trick just because he's not switching his Darmanitan into it, and he's probably not going to switch his Swampert into it. So, there it is. Flame Orb on its Umbreon is done. Now I'm just going to Volt Switch out, just get some nice damage on it, yes. And I go right into my Claydol to get my hazards, just because Stealth Rocks will help me a little bit, just a little bit. As he goes into a Swampert, that is fine by me. Here, I do believe I make a... Yeah, I go right for the Earthquake because I'm thinking he's going to go for the Earthquake, predicting me to go into my Rotom Heat, predicting him to go for Stealth Rocks. So here now, because I know he went for the Waterfall and he can 2-KO me, I know he's going to go for the Rocks, so I'm going to go into my Verzion. Then here, I am just going to go for the Stone Edge. I hit, which is actually important because of this, I can take him out with the close combat. And I do take out his Verzion, and I do win the Speedy tie, but I later find out that he has HP Rock, which is makes you run 30 speed IVs. Here I'm just going to sack my Claydol, I have no need for it. Though sacking Rotom Heat would have been a better play. Here goes my main Show. I am just going to U-turn. I'm going to go straight for the High Jump Kick, I believe, just because, oh no, I'll go for the U-turn because I know he's going to predict me to go for the Stealth, or Stone Edge. Go right into my Verzion. Here I'm not going to waste any time setting up. I want to get damage on anything he goes into. Go for the Leaf Blade, does 28% to his Umbreon because of Stealth Rocks and burn damage and the lack of lefties. His Umbreon goes down, which means my Raikou can do work. Also, his Crobat wouldn't appreciate Leaf Blade plus Stealth Rock damage. Anyway, so I sack my Rotom Heat here as he gets a Roost off, predicting me to switch that, and it was an excellent play on his part. He goes to the Brave Bird, kicks me right out. And at this point, I can pretty much win with Suicune if I play correctly. Because I can beat everything one-on-one. He goes to the Brave Bird, it does 28%, which is still ridiculous if you think about it, because it's just a Crobat and I am a Suicune. I'm trying to get the burn. Here, he's predicting me to rest, so he goes for the Taunt. I was really going to go for the Scald, but I was like, rest is probably my most optimal play, just because if I can still get 2 Scalds off, and then I can potentially burn him. So here he decides to risk the damage rolls, go for another Brave Bird, does not take me out, I live with 5%, because Suicune is just too strong. I do take out his Crobat because of that recoil damage. Oh man, this is a long narration. Here he goes into his Darmanitan. I really have no reason to switch out as he goes straight for the Flare Blitz. And now if I hit these next 2 High Jump Kicks, I win. If I miss a High Jump Kick, I lose. So I go for the High Jump Kick. I take out his Darmanitan, which is great. He goes into his Pert, and I can 2-KO at this range. I go for the High Jump Kick, and he goes for the Earth Waterfall. It takes me right out. But I can just clean up the game with Verzion. So, yep, there it is. That was a good game, Cool Story Brobat. Again, I'll leave my link description in the a link to his channel in the description. He loves primarily UU, which is what I like about him. But anyway, Here I got a battle against my boy TPO3, also known as Sean. I'm using my team. I took from Dad Super Noob. By the way, all these other teams are my original teams. Anyway, this is Dad Super Noob's team. He leads up with a Snorlax. I know he's going to predict the Sleep Powder, so I go straight for the Sludge Bomb. I honestly clicked Sleep Powder, but I forgot he had a Zatsu, so yeah. So here I go for the Sludge Bomb because I can 2-hit KO even the specially defensive Zatsu, which, you know, it's pretty great. So now I get my Hazards up. He goes into his Snorlax. I want to see what set he is, as he turns out to be banded and gets like a chill 56% off. And now I know he's probably going to switch into a Shaman, just because Shaman is S-ranked right now, guys. So I go for the U-turn, predicting him to go into his Rhyperior. Go right into my Roserade, not even bad. Now here, I do believe I just clicked Sleep Powder. Honestly, he should have gone into Shaman. Shaman would have been a better play, but whatever. So here I switch out, predicting him to go into his Shaman, but no, I predicted him to go back into his Rhyperior, predicting me to switch out, so I want to get my rocks up, but no. He goes with Sea Flare, takes me out. I was risking the miss, so yeah. I go for the U-turn as he goes into Rhyperior. Now here, nothing going to see wants to take Leaf Storm. Snorlax can potentially be 2-hit KO'd after, no, what am I saying? But there's a good chance I could like 2-hit KO and stuff. Here I know the switch is too obvious, so I stay in and go for the Leaf Storm. I was going to go for the Sludge Bomb, but I wanted to get big damage on his Shaman, but also hit everything for good damage because I know he's going to go with Rhyperior. So yeah. He goes into his Porygon Z, and I want to know what kind of set this is. He turns out to be Nasty Plot, which is a bit upsetting for me. Because he is this set, I am just going to go right into my Darmanitan, and nothing on his team. Nothing wants to take Flare Blitz. Look at this. Thick Fat. There's still just like 43%. So yeah, Darmanitan just cleans up. He goes into his Shaman to get some recoil damage on me, which is actually not a bad play because his only chance of winning at this point is going into his Cofagrigus, I think getting a Trick Room off, and then going for the Shadow Ball. Because he does do just that, actually. Goes for the Shadow Ball, takes me out easy, and then now I go into my Snorlax, and here I'm just going to fire off 2 Crunches, just because I know Crunch will take 2-hit KO his Porygon Z. What I wanted to do was go for the Pursuit, and then switch into my Crobat, but that was just too much work. Go for the Crunch, and like I said, it will be an easy 2-hit KO, and his Fire Attack would have 2-hit KO'd me, so I couldn't exactly switch into it. So yeah, that was a good game, TPO3, and I finally won with Dad Super Noob's team. Now, oopsie. Oh wait, did I have my dimension? Okay. I got a battle against this guy, and I hate guys like this. I'll let you know. So I'm gonna lead off with this team I built. I built like a while ago. Not a while ago, but like a week ago. Just because Leo wanted me to use Swords Dance Cobalion. Or no. Christian wanted me to use Swords Dance Cobalion. Leo wanted me to use Meloetta. I wanted to use Weavile, so I slapped them all together. I lead off with my Darmanitan. I go for the U-turn. He predicts me to switch to my Weavile, and he goes for the Fire Blast. And he's like, oh no, oh. I'm like, no, if you don't want to admit, this thing gets Flamethrower. So, yeah. And I don't really advocate, I don't like when people bitch about hacks if they have shit like Togekiss, Machamp, or Venomoth, or Smash Bash, just because sub is gay as shit. So he goes for the sub on Suicune. As I get my rocks out to break the sash of Weavile if he has one, and his Venomoth. Goes for the Scald. I go for the Roar because I want to get him out. Because that's just because that thing's a big threat. Here I do go for the Roar in case he quivers because I know even at +1 my Darmanitan can outspeed him. As he goes straight for the Bug Buzz, which is a good play on his part. That looked like tinted lens, but anyway. So here I'm just going to go for the Flare Blitz. There's no reason for me not to go for the Flare Blitz just because I do have something to take care of this in the form of Mew. Special defensive Mew, yes. So here I go for the Taunt just in case he has like Calm Mind or some shit. I don't know. I go for the Scald, but because I'm special defensive Mew, I eat that up. Now I'm going to switch out into my Meloetta just because I can take hits for days because you know, that base 128 special defense, base 100 HP. Go for the Grass Knot. Now here I'm just going to fire off a Hyper Voice as he gets a weak Scald off with the burn, but it don't matter. So, let's see here. What do I go here? Do I go for the Hyper Voice? Yes, I do. And I take his Venomoth right out, which is great. Meloetta is just too powerful. And then now, he can go to anything and just revenge me. He goes into this thing. He goes for the, HP Grass. So yeah, and he's trying to fake me out here, which is gay as shit. Here he goes for the sub, as I do go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting him to predict the Side Shot. I can go into his Weavile. Makes a good play. Goes for the Calm Mind, but like I said, I can take these hits. I go for the Taunt because I don't want him to set up. And then here I'm just going to go for the Side Shock. No reason not to. Yes, take out a sub. By the way, Side Shock should be the only move used on Mew just because sub sweepers beat me. So here I'm just going to sack my Mew. Not sure if that was a good play, but what can you do? Just going to go for the Side Shock again. as he takes me out. Now here, nothing on his team really wants to take 2 Flare Blitz after Stealth Rocks, even his Suicune, but he goes into his Needle Queen. Good play actually, because that way I get some recoil damage. He brings me in a range where Weavile can take me out with, what's his face? Ice Shard. So here, goes into this Weavile. I know the Ice Shard is coming. I don't have anything I want to switch into it. I could switch into my Weavile to take it, but then there's a good chance I'll, you know, win the speed tie. Also, I didn't go to my Cobalion because low kick plus Ice Shard would have taken me out. So here, I just go for the Iron Head, take him out. And then here, he goes to a Suicune. And I do just go for the close combat. If he had rest right here, this would have been so bad. And you know, he probably would have had a good chance of winning had he hit the Fire Blast. But if you didn't want to miss, you use Flamethrower. Like I missed Stone Edge, and I just cry about the hacks. So yeah, here I go for the Ice Shard, best thing to hit him with. I don't want to risk him being scrubbed or whatever. But anyway, yeah, this guy thinks I'm upset, but he's obviously the one upset. He was the one complaining about the hacks. So it was a good game. Good game, King Hugh. Except that you suck dick. Alright, and another thing, I got a battle against Call of Loshi, buddy of mine. Playing with this team with Yanmega, just because Yanmega's a threat. I lead with my Suicune. Has a good matchup against all of his mods except that Rotom Mage. He leads off with Kingdra. He goes straight for the Specs Draco. Looking at that, it looks kind of like timid damage though. So really counter rain teams. I go for the Scald. Now he makes a good play, switches into his Rotom Heat, predicting me to rest just because he does know my set. And here he does go for the trick, predicting me to go to my Clay Dolls. Right now I'm getting outplayed, but I just want to get my hazards up just because he has 2 things weak to rocks. And yeah, I go for the Stealth Rocks. Now here I am just going to make a switch right into my Suicune because there's no reason not to. Good matchup against most of his mods. As he goes into this thing, I'm just going to Sleep Suck. I do get the Scald, and it brings him down really low, so now he has to choose like to HP Grass or whatever Volt Switch. As he gets a crit, which sucks now that I think about it. He goes right into his Kingdra. Hopefully I can get a Scald Burn. I forget, do I? No, what did I do? I didn't even press Sleep Talk. Hello? So he takes me out there, and now I go into my Virizion, and I just want to get... But don't worry, the hacks evens out. So he sacks his Rotom H. Optimal play. Optimal play. And now he's going to go into his main Chow. I don't know why I didn't go with this Crobat, but in either case, I have nothing on my team that wants to take a high jump kick. So yeah, go to my Yanmega, and it's looking like a Yanmega sweep from here if I destroy this Rhyperior. So I go for the Bug Buzz. I get a crit. Not bad, but what would have happened is his Rhyperior would have been 2 KO'd, and then 3 of his Pokemon would have died. So yeah, Crobat, HP Rock, easily going to knock that thing out. Like I said, I would have had the game either case. I didn't need the crit and Rhyperior just because I would have 2 KO'd anyway, and then 3 more of his mons would have died because I go for the Bug Buzz, take out his Kingdra. I am modest, I'm Life Orb, even though I only have 30 attack. I mean, what is it? Special attack EVs. Go for the Bug Buzz. I know his Mew is offensive just because looking at his team. And now he goes into the main Chow. So yep. And any one of his mons that he let live, I would have been able to keep the appropriate one alive. So yeah, that was a good game, Loshi. That was the most offensively based, evenly hacked game ever. So yeah, that was like a 30-minute replay. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these replays. I have a couple more replays, one against Psychotic, but don't feel like uploading it just because, and one against a couple other players. But anyway, yeah, that'll conclude this Pokemon Showdown replay. I hope you guys like the battles. I do the Poke AMD. I embrace hacks when I get them, but if I get a hacks, I'm all about it. So and anybody who says that they don't embrace the hacks or like they quote unquote feel bad about it, you're full of shit because hacks is part of the game. And even when you lose the hacks, the only reason why people should get mad when they lose the hacks is if the player that you were playing that hacks you thinks he could have beaten you without the hacks, and the game was decided not by hacks. Like for instance, when I lose to someone that's like GG, only because they hacked me, I get pissed. But when somebody says that, oh, you had the game, had I not hacked crit you at this point, or that kind of shit, or got a hit Stone Edge, then you would have won. I was like, yeah, that's GG. I did the same thing to them, and yeah, that's it. So basically, what I'm trying to say, if you bitch about hacks and you think you're good because you get the hacks, you're not. So I will talk to you guys later.